Imagine you pull up to a five-star restaurant in a shiny red Ferrari. Heads turn, people stare. You feel like a Kim. Now imagine the old money family sitting by the window watching you park. And they feel sorry for you.
That is not an insult. That is just how they see the world. There is an entire invisible code that governs how truly wealthy people think about money, cars, clothes, and status. And once you understand it, you will never look at a Ferrari the same way again. You will also start noticing things about people and about yourself that you never noticed before.
So let us start at the very beginning, not with cars, with a question. What is the actual purpose of buying a Ferrari? Be honest. It is fast, yes. It is beautifully engineered, absolutely. But if pure performance was the goal, there are machines that outperform it without the prancing horse badge.
The badge is the point. The color is the point. The sound pulling into a crowded parking lot, that is the point. A Ferrari is not just transportation. It is a broadcast. It is someone standing on a rooftop with a megaphone yelling, "Look at what I have done."
And old money hears that broadcast loud and clear. They just do not applaud it. Here is something that might surprise you. The families who have held serious wealth for 2, 3, or even 4 generations almost never drive Ferraris, not because they cannot afford one. They absolutely can. They just do not want one. And that distinction between cannot and do not want is exactly where the old money mindset begins. There is a word that comes up constantly in old money circles: discretion. It is almost like a religion to them. You do not talk about what you have. You do not wear it on your wrist, park it in front of a restaurant, or post it on social media. You simply live well, quietly, and let the quality of your life speak without ever raising its voice. Now, you might be thinking, what is the point of having money if you cannot enjoy it visibly? And that is a completely fair question. But here is the thing. That question itself reveals a very specific relationship with wealth. It assumes that enjoyment requires an audience. Old money fundamentally disagrees. Think about it this way. When someone is completely secure in who they are, they do not need external validation. They do not need a room to notice them. They do not dress to impress strangers. That same psychology applies to how old money treats wealth. They are not performing success. They are simply living it.
A Ferrari is a performance, and old money does not perform. Now let us talk about what old money actually drives, because this is where things get genuinely fascinating. You will often find generational wealth families in understated older European cars, a well-maintained Volvo, a quiet Bentley with no chrome, a Range Rover that is 3 years old and slightly muddy, nothing screaming for attention. Everything chosen for quality, comfort, and longevity. The car does not announce their arrival. They do. And their homes follow the same logic. The truly wealthy rarely live in the most ostentatious mansion on the street. They live in homes that are deeply comfortable, beautifully maintained, and almost invisible to the casual observer. No gold gates, no fountains shaped like lions, just quality materials, good taste, and zero need to impress the neighbors. Now here is where it gets psychologically deep. Why does new money go the opposite direction? Why the Ferrari, the penthouse, the flashy watch, the designer everything all at once? Because when you are the first person in your family to have money, it feels fragile. It feels like if people do not see it, it might disappear. There is an unconscious fear underneath the display, a need to cement the reality of the success by making it visible, tangible, and undeniable. The Ferrari is not just a car, it is proof. Proof to the world, and more importantly, proof to yourself.
Old money never had that crisis. They grew up surrounded by wealth. It was never fragile to them. It was just the water they swam in. So they never developed the need to announce it. They find the announcement a little embarrassing, actually. Like someone standing up at a dinner party to tell everyone how much they make. It is just not done. There's actually an old saying that floats around aristocratic European circles: the loudest person in the room is never the most powerful. Old money lives by that principle every single day. But here is the real lesson. And pay attention here, because this is the part that actually matters for your life, regardless of where you are financially.
The old money philosophy is not really about cars or houses or watches. It is about the relationship between identity and money. New money says, I am what I own. Old money says, I own things, but they have nothing to do with who I am. That is a radical difference, and it changes everything.
When your identity is tied to your possessions, you are always one bad investment away from an identity crisis. When your identity is separate from your possessions, you are unshakable. You can lose the car, the watch, the apartment, and still know exactly who you are.
That kind of inner security is something no amount of money can buy directly. It has to be built. And interestingly, that security is exactly what old money is reading when they look at someone in a Ferrari. They are not judging the car. They are reading the psychology. And what they see is someone still in the early stages of figuring out who they are. Someone still using objects to build an identity rather than having one already. That is why they see it as a red flag. Not because the car is bad, because the need behind the car tells a story.
Now here is something worth sitting with. This is not about shaming anyone who loves Ferraris or luxury cars. There is nothing wrong with enjoying beautiful things. There is nothing wrong with rewarding yourself for hard work. The difference is the energy behind the purchase. Are you buying it because it genuinely brings you joy in private? Or are you buying it because of how it will make others see you? One of those motivations leads to lasting satisfaction.
The other one never does, because the validation of strangers is the most unstable currency in existence. You spend a fortune chasing it, and you never quite feel full. Old money figured this out early, or rather, they were born into a world where it was already figured out.
But here is the exciting part. You can adopt this mindset right now, at whatever stage of life or wealth you are in. Start paying attention to why you want what you want.
Separate the things that genuinely add quality to your life from the things that are really just signals to other people. Invest in experiences, relationships, knowledge, and craft. Buy quality things that last rather than flashy things that impress. And slowly, without even trying, you will start building the kind of inner security that old money wears so naturally.
Because that is ultimately what people are sensing when they are around genuinely wealthy people. Not the brand on their wrist or the logo on their car. They are sensing a deep, unshakable calm. A person who has nothing to prove. And that energy is more magnetic than any Ferrari ever made.
The red flag was never really about the car. The car is just the symptom. The real question old money is asking when they see that Ferrari is simple. Does this person know who they are without it? That is the question worth asking yourself, too. And whatever your honest answer is right now, that is exactly where the real work begins.